It took Dorothy Holterman 70 years to fulfill one of her dreams, but she did it. Market the family salad dressing with a recipe handed down from her mother. She got the idea at the age of 18.
I dreamed I was going to get that recipe perfect. So I asked Mama for the recipe. She said, well, a dab of this and that. I tried those dabs and I couldn't do a thing with them. But I kept on. Finally, I went to the store and bought me a measuring cup and measuring spoon. And you know how long it took to get that perfect? 23 years. Oh, we had it. We had it all the time. A little sour, a little sweet, a little oily. But we had it. Finally, I perfected it after 23 years. Now, remember, I had that dream since I got married.
Grandma says she made the dressing by the gallons for school picnics and other social events, always dreaming of someday selling it. When she explored the possibilities in the 1960s, store managers told her it would take a lot of money. Move forward another 40 years or so, she was about to go into business with her grandson, whose college degree is in hotel management.
She never pushed it, and it wasn't until her 84th birthday that we were sitting around and Dad said, somebody ought to market Grandma's dressing. It's always been her dream. And he'd be our best customer, but she makes it for him free all the time. But my father loved the dressing, and he thought we should market it, so I started making phone calls, and that's kind of how we got started.
Picker says he got a lot of good help from the State Department of Economic Development as to how to get started.
As far as the dressing went, I really didn't know who to talk to, and what I found was that every time I talked to one person, they'd give me a name of someone else who could give me another piece to the puzzle. And finally, we got it all put together and had the dressing, but no one had all the answers, so I had to make a lot of phone calls to kind of put all the answers together to make it come true.
Within months, Steve and Grandma began making Grandma's cool and zesty dressing.
When I saw it come down the assembly line in St. Louis at our bottling company, I cried. See, my husband knew all about it, but he died right before we got it on the grocery shelf.
I thought the tough part was making the dressing, and that was before we started getting on the shelves. But the approach that I took was, here's a product that my grandmother created. Lots of people have liked it for many years. Give it a try, and I'd have the sample ready for the grocery store manager. And while he was tasting it, I was telling him the story about how Grandma's dream came true. And that's how we got started, and most of them said, sure, we'll give it a try. But they all said, if it doesn't sell, we'll take you right back off the market.
Picker says not only was the big job putting the product in the stores, but keeping it there. He says he and Grandma do that by advertising and by taste tests where they meet the public face-to-face.
And what we find is that people will use it, and we're out there promoting it a lot, doing tastings at the grocery store. But if you don't continue to do that, it kind of falls back in their mind and they stop buying it. So Grandma and I are out all the time giving out samples and talking to customers.
I don't have to do a thing. All I have to do is stand there and look pretty and talk to the customers. And I usually talk to them. And Paul Newman and I are the only ones that have pictures on our bottle. But I said, Paul Newman donates it all. Hey, people, we have to have a chance to make it first.
Some stores have special displays of Grandma's cool and zesty dressing, and Grandma has a website, cool-zesty.com. For her 85th birthday, her family gave her a personalized license plate that also does a little advertising.
The nice thing about Grandma is she's full of energy, and her story is pretty inspirational, so people want to hear her story a lot.
I just love doing things. I mean, a lot of old people don't want to do things. Hey, all of you out there, if you got a dream, pursue it. It's fun. I'm living a life. I'm living the life I love.
There's a lot of young people that come up to her and say, gosh, I can't believe at your age your dream came true. And Grandma always says, you know what, your dream can come true too. It may not come true tomorrow or the next day, but make sure you keep your dream. It'll come true.
Having the time of her life in the winter of her life, Grandma was probably a natural-born salesperson. Now she has something to sell. Dick Preston, Jefferson City, Missouri, for SBTV.